Okay, here we are at Capital Audio Fest. We're featuring VPI's Matt Weisfeld. How are you, Matt?
Hey guys.
Hi. Doug Hurlart from Dynamic Sounds. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Correct.
Good. Ralph Hellner from Surreal Sound. How are you?
Couldn't be better.
Great, great, great. Tim Stitzen from Luminous Audio. Hello.
Hello, top of the world.
Good. Dave Skolnick from Dynamic Sounds. Hello.
I heard we were getting like deli sandwiches for doing this. Is that
That's
correct?
exactly right. Yes,
All right, okay,
that's
good.
right. Okay, I'm going to start off with David. What do you have here in the room?
I have an amazing team of manufacturers, and that's really what this room is about. I don't think you're going to find a room that truly has 5 distinct manufacturers like this.
Here, David is going to introduce a system to us.
Well, yeah, and the only way to do this kind of thing is to talk about where it begins. And it begins actually right there. The record is turning and the stylus is happening. So
At the source.
At the source, right there. And one thing you'll notice about this room, if you bring in your favorite CD, we'll have to ask you to leave.
Oh no!
Yes, only analog in this room.
Great.
Only analog. And frankly, that gives us an unfair advantage, but so be it. So here, Matt, tell us about the table.
Okay.
Sure. Here we're looking at our brand new VPI Classic 4. We
Matt
debuted this
Weisfeld.
guy at the New York show. Now this guy actually wasn't supposed to come out. I think I mentioned in the past. This was kind of like a personal project that my dad, Harry, did. But we had too many darn arms and cartridges to play with. There were too many good toys, you know, between the Soundsmith and the Lyra. So we ended up releasing this guy, which is pretty much a beefy, bigger version of a Classic 3, where we have more weight to the chassis, we have more weight over here, we have the room now to add in another arm. But now the big difference though, what makes it stand out is the fact that this has a 12-inch arm, rather, I'm sorry, 12.7, whereas the Classic 3 has the 10.5.
It's the 0.7 that makes the difference.
Exactly, without that 0.7, everything falls apart.
Go from cartridge, tone arm, table into the DSA Phono 2.
Okay.
And the advantage here is that the Phono 2, which is the newest, brand new product from Dynamic Sound Associates, has 3 easy-to-change inputs. So both tone arms and the tone arm from our friend the Traveler over there can be listened to just at anyone's whim.
So you can go over and you can just, viewers, you can push that.
Right? Don't push it.
Don't. No.
No, okay. So yeah. So it's ultimately versatile there, and then when we go down here, then you have each individual arm or cartridge has its own loading switches.
Look at that.
And there's, for moving
Right on the
coil
front.
cartridges, there's 60 different impedance options for moving Magic 30. And so you can, by moving those switches in rather well-designed sequences, you can set up whatever you want to listen to cartridges.
Okay.
You know, and that's, I mean, the sound is going to be hard to talk about here through here, but from there, we're going to David Berning's preamp or the Luminous Audio Passive. And both of them have very good stories. This passive little guy here does a fantastic job of getting out of the way of the music, okay? And unlike most preamps that you'll be looking at putting into a system where you're looking at 3,000 maybe for something would sound okay, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. How about $250, Tim? $220. And for people who need just 1 or 2 inputs, and want to put their money somewhere else into a system, it's a great option.
Is there a remote control on that, or do you have to stand up and walk over?
No remote.
Okay.
Again, $220. What do you want? for
Well, that's your exercise machine.
All right. So here but right now we're running the Berning preamp and into the Berning amp. Okay.
David Berning, hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, we've got
Let's take a look, viewers.
my Zodal Pre-1 preamplifier, which we're using only the high-level stage of it right now. It also has an optional phono, but we're not using that right now.
Yeah, with a DSA.
And, yeah, and so it has features like a true invert switch. One of the unusual features is a separate stepped attenuator balance for each channel, and then a master step attenuator.
They're very sharp-looking units. You have an interesting technology in your power amplifiers.
Both of these pieces use output transformerless technology. Now, for a preamp, normally you wouldn't use that, but I wanted to be able to have a very strong output drive capable of driving headphones. There's a headphone jack on the back, and so with this unit, without negative feedback, there's no negative feedback whatsoever in the unit. It still has an output impedance of 50 ohms and can drive quite a bit of current. So that's very unusual for a vacuum tube preamplifier. The power amplifier is, again, without output transformers. It's a output transformerless technology, and so it has more transparency than you normally get with an output transformer.
Good. Well, your sound has always been one of effervescence, a beautiful tonality, and a speed that I think is equal to the best in the industry.
Well, we try.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, David.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And Doug Hurlbert from Dynamic Sounds is going to tell us all about the unit here today.
Good morning. The phono preamp that I have here this is the first version of the new Phono 2. The Phono 1 has been appreciated by a lot of people in the audiophile world. This new unit has 3 inputs selectable from the front panel. It also has loading switches that allow each input to be selected individually for the loading, either moving coil or moving magnet. The unit itself has several built-in functions. It has a provision for mono or stereo, has a phase inversion, and it has a low-pass filter for if desired. The other unique feature about this preamplifier is that in the mono mode, if you play a mono record, you can actually adjust your azimuth angle adjustment, because it permits you to do a left minus right and right minus left. I'll show you here.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Go to mono, and then you would have either
You can find a null point.
You can find a null point by going back and forth, so you can do a null point and actually adjust your azimuth angle on your cartridge with a mono record.
Does the light go off when you hit the null, or does it dim down?
No, you have to do that by ears.
Okay, okay.
The unit itself is designed, has 4 stages of application. It's all JFET or MOSFET. Has no coupling capacitors at all in the audio chain. It's almost DC coupled. The low frequency response goes down to about 2 hertz. And it has a very high, the top end goes almost up to half a megahertz.
What's total gain for the unit?
It has adjustable gain of 40, 50, or 60, or 66 dB gain.
66 top, okay.
It's selectable from the front.
Okay, very good. And the retail price is?
The introductory price is $11,000. The price, no doubt, will go up as we build more units and have more sales.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for the walkthrough of the unit. It was sounding very good when we first came into the room.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Hi, I'm here with Ralph Helmer from Surreal Sound. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Good. What do you have here at our American room at the show today?
Well, I've actually brought a new pair of speakers this year. They're very unique. I don't think it's definitely not a Me Too or copycat design from anybody. Anyway,
Okay.
it uses 6 10-inch woofers per channel.
Look at them, viewers, and you can see that they're mounted in here. Point in there, Ralph, if you could. Yeah.
And you have one above it too that you
Look at
cannot
that.
see there.
Yeah, they're pointed downward.
Yeah, and they're all stacked on top of each other. So we end up with 6 of them. The nice thing about this design is it actually counterbalances in such a way that there's no vibration in the enclosure. So all of them move inverse and against each other. By combining the motion of the back of the cone to the front of the other cone, you eliminate all the nonlinear distortions. Now, one of the problems I had was used when I designed this was getting these woofers to produce deep bass. And the way that was solved, instead of adding mass to lower the resonance, I was actually able to load the drivers. If you'll notice the front right here, you'll see that this is about 4 by 6 inch opening.
Yeah, we do see
So I
that.
have almost 100 inches of cone coming out. So it's a 4-to-1 ratio, not only on the front, but also on the back side. So it lowered the resonance almost 10 hertz on these. So they produce prodigious bass now.
The frequency response is?
Ever how you want to EQ, you can go all the way to 20, all the way to 20,000.
So it'll go down to 20.
Yes, it will.
Okay, and what's the retail price, Ralph?
These are $27,500.
Okay.
So, and they, like I said, handmade. Each piece is layered. Now, the top of this is from 100 hertz to 20. It is a full range, 95 dB efficient. So the 35 watt per channel will more than drive this. If you have anything over 6 watts, it's going to do just fine.
Well, that sounds like a winning combination in design.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Well, thank you for your time today at the Capitol Audio Fest and the All-American Room.
Likewise.
Thank you. And listen.